We are moments away from Utah State visiting UNLV. There's a shot of the Strip. Where are you putting your money tonight? Let's go out to Las Vegas for this one here on the U.
Mix minus. All right, welcome to Las Vegas on a perfect night for football, Matt. Can't get much better than this scene in the desert where Utah State has been dominant away from home. Tonight they try to keep their conference title hopes alive against UNLV. The Rebels have their first bowl game in more than a decade within reach. Welcome to ESPNU College Football Primetime, presented by 5 Hour Energy. We're at Sam Boyd Stadium, just on the outskirts of town. One of these teams becomes bowl eligible tonight. Utah State takes on UNLV. Now with that, we say welcome inside our broadcast booth with the coach Dan Hawkins, Joe Davis. So UNLV in the first 3 seasons under Bobby Hauck, 2 wins apiece. This year they've got 5 wins, largely because of what's happened at quarterback. Caleb Herring out of the middle of nowhere to retake the job.
Caleb Herring really been the spark at quarterback. Came in as a quarterback, moved to wide receiver, went back to quarterback, took over for starter Nick Sperry in the 3rd game of the year. He's really been the igniter for this whole team.
For Utah State, the quarterback was the igniter too earlier on. Chucky Keaton, one of the top quarterbacks in the country, out with an injury. A true freshman comes in, and Darryl Garrettson, and he's been able to thrive and keep the Aggies in the conference title hunt because of what's around him.
He's got a bunch of experience. 4 of those 5 offensive linemen are seniors. He's got a bunch of experience. Joey DiMartino, the senior running back. That's their nuts and bolts of the game plan, and that's allowed him to be successful at quarterback.
Pretty heavy favorite tonight. Not too many people giving UNLV a shot in this game. For them to pull the upset, Coach Hawkins, what's got to happen?
Got to be physical up front. Utah State is nasty on defense. UNLV needs some big plays to get Devontae Davis loose downfield. They got to get Tim Cornette with some running going on, and then they've got to keep Herring healthy because that Utah State defense will attack the quarterback.
There's Bobby Hauck, who went 6-31 in his first 3 seasons, and with a win tonight would match the win total from those 3 seasons combined. The winningest coach in FCS history, went 47-6 in 7 seasons at Montana. Hired a couple of new coordinators in the offseason. Matt Wells is in his first year of his first head coaching job, was an assistant under Gary Anderson over the last 2 years, and now taking over his alma mater where he played quarterback in the mid-90s. UNLV won the toss and deferred, so Utah State will receive. Now UNLV, the worst first quarter team in the Mountain West, trying to get off to a faster start against this Utah State team that's been good in the first quarter this year. Nikolai Bornan descended away to Travis Reynolds and take Glover right. UNLV and Utah State meeting as Mountain West foes for the first time with bowl eligibility at stake. And off we go from Vegas. This would be Travis Reynolds. And Utah State will begin at the 27-yard line. This offense 3rd in the Mountain West, averaging close to 40 points a game and trying to overcome several key injuries. Most importantly, a quarterback, where the true freshman Darryl Garrettson out of Chandler, Arizona, has taken over after beginning the season 3rd on the depth chart, now making his 3rd start.
Threw for close to 400 yards against Hawaii, really gained some confidence. He's a baller. This guy's got some moxie. Watch him tonight. He can make some plays.
Against a UNLV defense that's really struggled against the run. Utah State starts with a sweep play. Here comes JoJo Netson getting the corner. And getting close to the first down marker.
JoJo can fly. Now he's normally a flanker. Will play out there, run the fly sweep. They'll put him in the backfield as well. Key him there because they'll try to get him the ball out of the backfield as well.
Was enough for a first down. Empty set on 1st and 10 at the 37. The inside receiver to the far side was uncovered for a moment. Frank Crawford gets over him. Gerritson's first throw for Van Leeuwen, and he couldn't find it up in the lights. It's 2nd and 10. We take a look at our impact players, brought to you by Lee Jeans.
Going to see right here that offensive line. It all starts with a running game. Utah State, Joey DiMartino getting that physicality going. And then Penny Vea is a tackling machine on the defensive side. Plays strong safety, but he's got to stop the run tonight.
UNLV gave up 7 yards per run against San Jose State last week. There's Joey DiMartino with his first touch. 2 yards into the short side of the field. Sonny Toa with a stop, along with Mike Horsey, setting up 3rd and 8.
Good sign for the Rebels. Did a nice job holding the line of scrimmage there. We talked about the physical battle. They did not get pushed off the line, and that was able to lead to a good, successful run defense.
That's Jeremiah Valawanga that comes off of the field limping. In front of this 3rd down play. 3-man rush leaks through. Gerritson across his body into traffic and incomplete. Was looking for Travis Reynolds. It's 4th down.
Vegas lined up with 4 down linemen, but really no linebacker in the box. That's something you couldn't do against Chucky Keaton, because he would run it on you, and the coverage rotation just threw off the read enough to get an incompletion.
So Jaron Benshrud to punt for the first time, with Keith Whiteley back for UNLV. Utah State's punt coverage team 2nd in the nation, and UNLV's gonna get a hold of the punter here. A flag is down as that one rolls inside the 10.
Special teams at the Rebels, coached by Bobby Houck, the head coach, longtime special teams coach. Too much pressure you're gonna see coming up inside. Right there on a punt, you don't want to dive. You want to stay on your feet, put your hands together, and take it right off the foot of the punter. Good aggressiveness now. Utah State comes into this game having blocked 2 punts. Vegas has not blocked a punt, but they're trying to get a little game changer going on here early.
Navy's the only team nationally penalized less than UNLV. But a critical one to keep this opening drive alive for Utah State. Iggy Porcher gets called for the roughing the punter. And a first down in UNLV territory. JoJo Natson in the backfield for first down. Gerritson with a short roll, gets those shoulders turned and hits his tight end Keegan Anderson, the son of the former head coach Gary Anderson, now at Wisconsin. Donnie Maka with a tackle after 4 and 2nd and 6.
Utah State describes themselves as a multiple spread, which they are. Not so much option, but a lot of different formations, a lot of different personnel groupings. You see several tight ends in the game right here.
A fumbled snap, and UNLV's got it. Mark Garrick falls on top of it for the Rebels. They're able to overcome that roughing the punter with the first takeaway on the opening drive.
There's the issue you have sometimes where a shotgun quarterback doesn't take as many from under center. Now you see right there, the ball just rolled along the ground, didn't come up at all. That's on Tyler Larson all the way. Now Tyler's a veteran. He's the leader of that group in there. Here comes Caleb Herring. As we mentioned before, came in the 3rd game of the season. Really was the spark plug for this offense.
Senior out of Moreno Valley, California. Took over the spot game 3 after Nick Sherry really struggled. First play of the day, play action. Herring with time to fire the comeback for Mata-Ele, who climbs the ladder for a first down. Micah Mata-Ele, who didn't even play college football until his junior year.
Former walk-on came in here. You're going to see good timing route. Caleb Herring at throwing it on a line. Good rhythm. That's a good job going up and getting the ball. They've got to be able to throw the ball on time, or Utah State will storm the castle and get into that backfield.
Yeah, that Utah State defense tops in the Mountain West, loaded with experience. They bring pressure on first down, and Tim Cornette with his first carry. Pulling the pile forward for 3 into the arms of Connor Williams, and it's 2nd and 7.
UNLV wanting to maintain balance. Tim Cornette is going to break most of the rushing records at UNLV. He's a big, strong back who can also run. He's kind of a strider, not a jitterbug guy, but he can break tackles and accelerate in the open field.
We're coming off his lowest output in 2 years. He's held to 24 yards on 12 carries last week. Show pressure off of the edge, and then a timeout taken by Utah State.
Timeout, Utah State.
So 3 minutes into this one, and UNLV on the move, trying to reach bowl eligibility. Opening drive for a UNLV team off to its best start in a decade against Utah State, trying to win its 3rd straight and trying to keep pace with Boise State at the top of the Mountain West Mountain Division. Now the issue is Boise State holds the tiebreaker by virtue of the head-to-head.
They need to lose another one, and Utah State win out. Much like a lot of teams in the country, just win your game and quit worrying about everybody else.
UNLV getting a takeaway on the opening Utah State possession, and they've got it 2nd down and 7 at the Utah State 45. Cornette swings out of the backfield and draws the attention of the defense to open up Davis for a first down. Devontae Davis, the Mountain West 3rd leading receiver, with his first grab of the day.
It was tough talking to the Utah State coaches. They wanted to get Nevin Lawson matched up against Devontae Davis if he was into the boundary. The ball was in the middle of the field, which isn't there much in college ball, so there was a little bit of a mismatch there.
On first down, here's Cornette spinning his way for 6. Zach Vigil, Utah State's 2nd leading tackler, gets his first stop, and it's 2nd down and 4.
Good recipe for the Rebels right now, staying out of long yardage situations, which prevents some of the funky blitzes from Utah State, and a very productive and efficient run game so far.
Last week held to just 86 yards total, a season low for UNLV. San Jose State got that big lead early, and UNLV was forced to throw it a lot. Kind of abandon that run game. Cornette again, this time cut down to the hole by Jake Dowdy. As we take a look at our impact players, once again brought to you by Lee Jeans.
Well, we know games start up front, but here it's Devontae Davis who caught the previous pass against Kevin Lawson here. And Nevin Lawson, excuse me, who Nevin normally lines up to the field. They've got him into the boundary this time to match up against Marcus Sullivan, the fastest player on the Rebel roster.
On 3rd down and 5, 9 men standing for Utah State. They bring edge pressure. Herring with good pocket presence, cuts it upfield and is a yard short. So the defense closes. Dowdy and Fackrell there to stop him, and it's 4th down and a yard. Decision time early for Coach Houck.
As you mentioned, Utah State will play some unconventional fronts. They may put one guy down, everybody else with their hand up, bring 3 guys from outside. That's where the mobility of Caleb Herring helps. But you get in those 3rd long situations, you are going to get voodoo from Utah State defense.
Well, the one spot Utah State's defense has struggled this year has been on 4th down, one of the 10 worst nationally. On 4th down, it's Cornette straight ahead to move the chains. Behind that offensive line, that's a big-time strength.
Much larger than the Utah State front. They're winning the physical part of that portion. Running a power play off the fly action, very popular in all phases of football right now, but Tim Cornette getting ahead of steam.
Bobby Houck fired up, trying to reach 6 wins and become bowl eligible today. On first down, 3 receivers into the short side of the field. Play action has Herring stepping out of pressure. staying on his feet and somehow getting a solid first down game with a pile still moving. Pressure from Kamanga Matongi, but he's able to get 7. Heck of a job by Herring to get out of a mess.
This is something that Caleb Herring brings to the package, not so much with Nick Sperry. Nick more of a drop back thrower, but things break down. Caleb Herring can create.
Had to play wide receiver last year. After starting at quarterback in 2011, lost his confidence with a poor finish to that year. The confidence no doubt back. On second down, more play action. Sullivan's open. Sullivan's in. Touchdown UNLV. And how about that start for the Rebels?
Really nice job staying balanced. Good with the run game. Caleb Herring was able to get out of it. This is classic pistol. Reading this. Defender closes, throws it out in the flat. Tough to make a tackle in space on a great athlete.
And so UNLV, the worst first quarter team in the Mountain West, gets a takeaway on Utah State's opening possession and a score on their own. Nolan Cohorse, senior out of Henderson, Nevada, knocks it through at 7-0 UNLV. Well, after roughing the punter, wasn't long before UNLV got it anyways with a fumbled snap. And able to get it in with Sullivan from Herring.
ESPNU College Football Primetime is presented by 5-Hour Energy. Try the new sour apple flavored extra strength 5-Hour Energy shots in the camouflage bottle. And in part by the all-new 2014 Jeep Cherokee, built free.
First casino was built on the Strip in 1941, and now the entertainment capital of the world as we look back at our Tire Rack Drive recap with the hometown UNLV Rebels scoring on their opening possession. Marcus Sullivan getting a touchdown strike from Caleb Herring, 9 plays, 58 yards, and it takes less than 5 minutes to do it.
That was a great formula for the Rebs, mixing it up. There were 3 passes and 6 runs, but 2 of those were scrambles by Caleb Herring.
Solid kick here from Bornan. Taking a touchback is Bubba Wright. Well, BCS Countdown is the most thorough college football show on TV with in-depth analysis, discussion of the standings, and interviews with coaches and players. BCS Countdown presented by Allstate, Sunday at 8:30 on ESPN, and then at 9 on ESPNU. That's all also live on Watch ESPN. Of course, Stanford with that convincing win over Oregon, and now Florida State's got to feel pretty good about controlling its own destiny.
Going to be a lot of discussion this week to see how it shakes out.
Out of the Wildcat to begin this second drive, and JoJo Natson gets tugged down by Tim Hassan on a short gain, 2nd down and 9. We figured we'd see some of this tonight, trying to get Natson more and more involved. They've done it with the Wildcat. They've done it by lining him up at running back as well.
He's not the biggest guy, but he is fast. And then the coaches talked about Joey DiMartino being a little bit banged up, so it takes a few carries off of him.
Yeah, DiMartino, you wouldn't know it by the numbers, but has been battling that high ankle sprain for much of the year. On 2nd down, Garrettson with time in the pocket. Steps into his throw and has Reynolds for his first completion of the night across midfield. Travis Reynolds now with a catch in 19 straight games as he goes for 25.
It's a benefit of having a good run game, faking a little bit of a zone read scheme and being able to pull the ball. They like to throw the ball downfield. When Darrell came in against Boise in his first game, he was launching it downfield.
And then threw for the best mark for a freshman in school history last week against Hawaii, 370 and 3 touchdowns. Back-to-back throws, scans the field, feels the pressure. Ball's ripped out into the hands of Utah State's DiMartino. The Aggies dodge a bullet.
The youngster Darrell Garrettson's done a nice job in this short season for him taking care of the football, but he needs to learn right here when he gets some pressure. He's got to double in trouble, Could be 2 early turnovers for the freshman quarterback, and that's not a good formula.
The ball must come back to the fumbled spot. 2nd down.
Correctly done by our Mountain West officiating crew. That ball was forced out by Sonny Toa. And the Gaston had a shot at it.
It worked for Kenny Stabler back in the day, but they don't let anybody. They don't let anybody get away with that now.
Might call it the Kenny Stabler rule. So 2nd down and 15, and a rough start for the true freshman out of Chandler, Arizona. Try to get a chunk back. And Martino out of the teeth of the defense. Tani Mako with a tackle. And 3rd down and 10.
UNLV more of a traditional 4-down lineman look nearly every snap. Utah State plays 3 down, and Kyler Fackrell up. But there will be some disguise going on here on 3rd down in the secondary for the Rebs.
A twist is picked up. Garrettson off his back foot, tried to find Van Leeuwen, but too far out in front of him. And UNLV forces the punt.
It's nice when the Rebs can get a little pressure with just rushing 4. They're able to drop back and play 2 deep. Doesn't give you a lot of options down the field.
So 2nd time Matt Wells' team has had to punt. First time there was a roughing the punter call, and they turned it over on the next play. Saw Whiteley back to receive the punt from Bentrew. Whiteley with a fair catch on a 38-yard punt. Heck of a start for UNLV, off to its best start in a decade. Scored in the opening possession. Caleb Herring back out when you come back. 13. Caleb Herring led a drive for a score to begin the ballgame for UNLV, and what a story he's been for this program. Was a starter in 2011, but threw 3 pick sixes in 1 game against an FCS program. The following week went 1 for 14 against Nevada, so the confidence was gone. He was benched at the end of the season, lost his job in 2012, moved to receiver, lost the job in camp this fall. But when Nick Sherry struggled, he took over week 3 and has been the best he's ever been in an UNLV uniform. Starts this drive with play action. Shows him the hamstring. Wants Davis, but too far. Defended by Lawson, and it's 2nd and 10.
There's the matchup that Utah State wanted. You don't want to overthrow the ball. You've got a single high safety. You've got 1-on-1. Give your guy a chance to go up and get it. Devontae Davis, big, tall, strong, athletic player who can go up. Let him at least make a play on the ball. See both of these teams checking it, looking to the sidelines, a little slower than some of the fast-paced no-huddle teams.
On 2nd down, Cornett with a nice read. Gets a few yards. Got a lead block from Caleb Herring on that play, who Coach Houck says should be a shining example for everybody across the country for struggling early on and sticking with it, not bailing out of the program, heading somewhere else.
Those are kind of guys that you need to win championships and build your program. So many times now, if a kid doesn't play, he bounces and goes someplace else. Caleb stuck it out, worked. He and Nick Sperry are best friends. I saw him in pregame warm-ups, pumping each other, high-fiving each other. That's great for your team chemistry.
Saw the 59% for his career, 66% this year. Another exotic look from Utah State on 3rd down. They bring pressure and force an errant throw. Zach Vigil bringing the heat, and it's 4th down.
Got to be careful throwing the ball late back into the middle. You love his escapability. He's probably better off just getting his eyes downfield and either running to keep the ball outside. That's interception territory when you do that.
Through 1 pick games this year, was picked off twice last week. First punt of the day, sent away by Logan Yunker. Good one bouncing by Nansen. Nansen with blockers. JoJo Natson hits the seam and brings it back close to midfield. So
got to be able to catch that punt.
Yeah.
That's why you're back there. You're going to lose 19 yards every time that ball hits the ground. He's got to catch that.
Sloppy start for Utah State team trying to win its third straight. Daryl Garrettson, true freshman quarterback, has put it on the ground twice in 2 possessions.
Yeah, the first one really wasn't his fault necessarily. Ball was put on the ground. This one right here, he's got to be able to leverage football. Maybe a little nervous. Had a great home run last week. Now he's on the road, got to compose and see if Utah State goes back to their bread and butter and pounds it.
From the 48. Winning the field position battle for now. Toss into the short side, DiMartino for a solid gain of 5 on first down. Garrettson obviously replacing Chucky Keaton, who was likely going to be an All-American with the numbers he was putting up. So a tough spot, but not one that he's unfamiliar with. When he was in high school as a sophomore in Chandler, Arizona, the senior went down. That senior happened to be Brett Hundley of UCLA. 2nd and 5. DiMartino again. Probing for space, but getting sucked down. Jordan Sparkman. And it's 3rd and long.
This is a tendency for Utah State. When they get in a tight end and a wing over here, they like to run the ball strong in that direction. Good push up front by UNLV.
UNLV defense where the issues have been mainly against the run. Rebels bring 6 and get to Garrettson, who steps away and makes a cut for a first down. Daryl Garrettson under pressure, but got a block from Wimpy to get 7 to move the chains.
He's nifty enough to run a little bit. You don't want him. He's not what I would classify as a running quarterback, but able to see it right here. Nice to have a quarterback that can create. We're seeing that on both sides of the field.
Not quite Chucky Keaton, but enough to move the chains there. Taking a shot down the sideline. Watch Van Leeuwen. Incomplete. Coverage from Taj Hassan. And it's 2nd and 10.
He likes Travis Van Leeuwen. He doesn't have as many catches straight go route. Going up against Taj Hassan, the half-brother of linebacker Tim Hassan. Doing a nice job, Hassan, getting his eyes back around and playing the football.
And Leeuwen out of the game for 2nd down and 10.
Motioning to unbalanced.
And headed in that direction. The run defense for UNLV, which gave up 7 yards a carry last week, has been solid in this first quarter against pretty good running offense.
Yeah, I don't think Utah State has pounded it like they like to. That power play, those fans that watch the Stanford game saw it about a bazillion times against Oregon. Fundamental, as we call it, getting Western, just getting downhill and knocking people off the ball.
3rd and 7. Get unbalanced to the near side. Garrettson with all kinds of time and hits Wyatt Houston, who's pulled down by Mike Horsey. Looks like he's got just enough for a first down. Wyatt Houston, a true freshman that they took the red shirt off because of the injury to DJ Tialavea. Got his first career start last week, got his first career touchdown, and has a 3rd down conversion to keep this drive alive.
Big, long touchdown play, so he can go. He's nice size and can fit into this offense and run, block, as well as catch.
Play action. Settling in the zone, Reynolds. Fighting for a first down into the red zone. 2nd catch for Travis Reynolds. Crawford and Horsey combining on the stop on a pickup of 11.
Utah State throwing a few shorter routes, giving the quarterback an opportunity to throw the ball on time. Daryl Garrettson not having to hold the ball and run like he did the previous drives.
Under center for 1st and 10. Got him outnumbered in the box. A good job to fight off the blocks by UNLV. Tani Maka once again. No gain. 2nd and 10.
Great job by UNLV reacting. That's a heavy run to the wing formation for Utah State. I think that's why they were all over it the previous play. They came back to that look, but countered, but UNLV was ready.
They've committed to the run on this drive. 5 of those 8 plays have been on the ground. On 2nd and 10. Garrettson double clutches across his body and incomplete. Kenneth Penny breaks it up. And it's 3rd down.
Joe, you're an old quarterback. Never, never, never throw the ball late down the middle. He gets a little pressure, gets outside, which is nice, but then trying to throw back across his body inside. That's dangerous.
They've twice converted 3rd down on this drive, now facing their longest 3rd and 11. They protect Garrettson, who gets it knocked down. A flag is down. Some bodies crumbling to the floor at the end of the play.
Really good answer to the 3-step passing game. D-line recognizes it can't get there. Get your hands up.
Now, pass interference not an option here because the ball was obviously knocked down.
Before the pass, holding. Defense, number 32. The ball never crossed the line of scrimmage, so it's a 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So it'll be 3rd and 1, Coach.
Coming off on the left side of your screen over here, you see just got him by the jersey, turning him. Both of these defensive coordinators like to contest at the line of scrimmage and press and reroute and not give receivers an opportunity to free run.
Marshall joins DiMartino for 3rd down and a yard as they work out of the Wildcat with Natson ready to take the snap, but a timeout from Utah State. Well, it's an offense that came into the year returning 8 starters from a solid group last year, but 4 of those 8 returning starters have gone down with injuries. Obviously, you know about Chucky Keaton. Outside of him, you've got a tight end in DJ Tialavea, who's a really important piece to what they do. Joe Hill, the incumbent at running back, got hurt early. And Kyle Wimpy, who was a starting guard, out for the year as well.
Really a credit that they've been able to get other guys in the mix, in the fold, and contributing. Shows you a lot of what they're doing in the development of their program and practice, getting guys reps. You're going to have guys hurt. You get to this part of the season, it's part of football everywhere. People are going to be hurt. You've got to have those young guys ready and those backups ready.
And luckily for Coach Wells, some pretty good depth. Keegan Anderson, who took over the tight end spot at junior. Joey DiMartino, Robert Marshall, the guys getting the carries now to replace Hill, both seniors. And they've got a senior stepping in at guard in Sini Talavea with the departed Wimpy. 3rd down and a yard. They bring Garrettson back in. DiMartino straight ahead for a 1st down. 1st down and goal, Utah State, as they convert on 3rd down for the 3rd time on this drive.
Getting back to their bread and butter. This is where you see sometimes teams that are specifically one back in the red zone. It's hard because you do have to pound it. You can't block everybody. The safeties can't play off. You're going to have to run against an unblocked defender with some power.
Same play. DiMartino gets tugged down by Sonny Toa. It'll be 2nd down and goal as the 1st quarter clock lines inside of a minute.
Nobody on Garrettson when he pulled the ball there and faked. UNLV did not have a defender on him. See if they come back to something like that here soon.
That's one of the luxuries of not having to face a guy like Chucky Keaton. The UNLV staff saying it's like playing with an extra man where you don't have to account for that quarterback. He boots on 2nd and goal with a pressure, steps up, and the defense collapses. 3rd and goal. Tani Maka, the first to pressure him. Tyler Gaston there as well.
Really nice job containing on the backside of the bootleg. Darrell needs to learn. You see right here, great job getting up the field and containing. Don't take a sack down there when you're down there close to the red zone. The end zone, give your team an opportunity to run the football in.
The first quarter clock winds out, so the 3rd down and goal play will open the 2nd quarter. Darrell Gerritsen finally getting Utah State on the move after a rough couple of possessions to begin. Put it on the ground once. Set up UNLV to march the ball down the field. Sullivan in, and the Rebels lead.